прям, бля.
That's good. Good morning. I like hanging in the morning and in the evening because I sit a lot, and this is a very easy 1 minute relaxation of your spine. Super healthy, and it only takes 1 minute. Welcome to my room. I am very happy because finally I installed a podcast type of gear. I mean, mainly I will use it for Zoom calls, but I love when people have a very clear, crispy voice, even in their Zoom calls. So this is now connected to this audio interface, and then it's always on. So when I go on a Zoom call, I just put that in. I'm like, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. People are like, oh, this guy has a deep voice. While I set up this podcast setup, I was listening to a podcast with Huberman, which you might have heard about if you're in the self-help niche. And the title was How Humans Select and Keep Romantic Partners in Short and Long Term. And I was like, okay, I'm a dating coach. I should listen to this podcast. And it was very interesting. I've listened to 2 hours of this. And the thing that surprised me the most wasn't even dating or like anthropology related. It was just how Mr. Dr. David Buss and Mr. Dr. Huberman talked about the mating scale in general. And the surprise I had there was they used the 1 to 10 rating system. I'm always super aware using that, like she was a 7, but she was a 9, so I got her number, that's worth more. Because obviously that's a very one-dimensional scale, right? And mostly when we talk about 1 to 10 rating females, we talk about their beauty. When women talk about guys 1 to 10, of course looks plays its part, but I feel like, and it showed in this podcast as well, that a lot of different factors go into it, like how much money does he make, what's his social status, what's his posture even, how does he use his voice, that's where I need this microphone. And I was just surprised how those two scientists who spent years and years and years used the scale. That was just super surprising to me. Of course, there's strong limitations to the scale, right? Like just rating a girl from 1 to 10 takes out so many elements of the human experience of sexuality, flirtation, relationships. And that's super important. And let's not forget, a lot of people, they consume most of their female visual thing now online, right? On Instagram, on Tinder. So of course, if you just see it on a flat screen, it's very easy to only think about beauty terms. But if we are talking about human touch, human smell, there's so many other elements that go into attraction, right? So, I mean, the best example is the most important relationship I ever had in my life was with a girl who is beautiful, natural beautiful, but you wouldn't rate her at a 9 or at a 10. Why did I enjoy time with her so much over many, many years? Because first of all, she was funny. She really pushed herself. So that's characteristic that I just appreciate, and everybody has their own things that they look out for. But being with her just felt amazing, I loved her smell. She loved my smell. Sex was good and amazing over many, many years. When there's now girls I meet, you might rate them at an 8 or a 9. I have sex with them 1 or 2 times and I'm like, okay, that's it. I just lose interest because I had this big imagination of, wow, she's so hot, it's gonna be so good. But it wasn't, because all those other elements were missing. So be very careful. It's fine to rate things, I think, but rating it too early and then making assumptions and let the rating system dictate all your actions after. Give girls a chance. I always say that when I coach people on our live workshops, when, a girl comes our way and I'm like, hey, how about her? You should approach her. And he's like, the student often goes, nah, she's not my type, or she's just not hot enough. And I'm like, bro, imagine you would talk to her and she would smile. She would love your compliment and she would even touch you on the shoulder because it was so funny and cute. And then she would listen to you and blush because she's so charmed by you. And then she would ask you a question, and then she would give you this warm hug, and then you go on a date and she holds your hand already, and then I ask him, you still wouldn't be into her? And then I often go further, I'm like, and then she puts your pants down and so on, you can imagine the rest. Would you still not be into her? And he's like, okay. And then he has to run faster because me talking all this made her walk an extra 30 meters. So now he has to run as a punishment. So that's super important when we talk about females, right? Of course, I get it. A male 10 will not date a female 6. You know, there is clearly a hierarchy. There is a sexual marketplace. That's reality, you know, and that's why I kind of appreciated that those two doctors were talking about this that bluntly in a way. But there is more factors going into that rating, especially for males. Okay. So, as I was saying, there is differences in males rating and females rating, right? Females very focused on beauty, males a lot of other elements. And I think that we are very lucky as guys. I assume most of the audience watching this is guys. Hi to the ladies. Because we get to work on ourselves. We can improve many of those elements. We can work on our fitness, work on our body. We can work on our position in a company, in life, how others perceive us. We can work on our posture, on our voice. We can work on how much money we make, the people we attract. Does it happen overnight? Of course not. It happens in many, many little increments, many small decisions you make, and of course, discipline, discipline, discipline. That's the main thing, how you get to anywhere where you want to go. So I realized at some point, because I come from a very technical background, right? I was in a technical school, I know programming, I enjoyed math, I enjoyed physics. But through my time outside of Austria, where I had to socialize more, when I lived in Nicaragua for a while, I realized what's really gonna be important for my life is to be able to socialize. Because yeah, it's cool to be smart and make money, but if you can't flirt, if you don't have eye contact, if you can't basically relate to people, you're just never gonna use all your potential. So I realized, cool, it's nice to be smart and all, but if you can't be social, if you can't talk to people, if you can relate to people, if you can't hold eye contact and so on, I'm capped, you know? I will never be using all the potential I have. So what I did, as soon as I got back to Austria, is I just got a job at Starbucks, you know? And I didn't get a job at Starbucks to get free coffee, which was a tiny part of it, and I didn't get it for the great money because I got like 7 euros per hour. I got it because I knew if I worked there, first of all, I have to work with people on a tight space, and I will meet like 1,000 people a day, you know? And I knew there will be regular customers, and I'm building small relationships with them. There will be cute girls, and I'm trying to sneak my number in as I give them the coffee. So I was aware it's a much more social job than sitting at home and making an app, you know, or yeah, working in an office. So that's what I did. And I even, the day I started, I set myself a time limit. I was like, oh, it's very easy to get comfortable in places. So I was like, okay, I'll be here 6 months. And that's what I did. I worked for 6 months and then I quit, and I got that experience, and it helped me in other ways. So that basically got my social ability maybe from a 6 to an 8. Another way I improve myself. Currently I'm trying out a low carb diet. I love sweets. I would love to eat all of this right now. And maybe it's dumb to come here every day in the morning. Because I heard decision fatigue is obviously a thing, and I have to actively make the decision now to not buy this. And to also not buy a coffee, because if I drink coffee, I'm doing a big cappuccino with milk, a little bit of sugar, so it's basically a dessert in liquid form. But I'm gonna order just a green tea. Because I'm still fasting, it's still like 11 a.m. I don't wanna consume any calories yet. I don't need any calories yet, I'm not hungry. I want a little bit of caffeine to spike me. I don't wanna shock my body with 2 espresso shots. So, you know, will I be a fitness champion, jacked guy, disciplined within 1 day again? No. All those little decisions you make every day, and they should be easy, you know? You shouldn't be wasting a lot of energy to make those decisions. Will help you get to 6 to an 8, whatever you mean. Upgrade as a guy. So obviously, your social skills, your social ability, your ability to have empathy and understand dynamics is the most important thing, right? And you do learn that by practicing it. You cannot really learn that in a book. You know, obviously you can get the basics, but without real life experience with people, with girls, you won't get to a level where you just fit in that area. Now let me talk about 2 more examples how you can raise your sexual market value. So first one, get money. Second one, spend more time with girls. Sounds easy, but I know it's not. Let's start with the second one, spending more time with girls. And I'm asking you, if you would have a timer and you track the whole week how many minutes you actually spend focused communicating with a girl, with a female that you're interested in, how many minutes would it be? Would it be 10 minutes? Would it be 20 hours, right? Because that's interesting. Because if it's a very low amount, of course, it's not enough. And imagine, let's say it's 10 minutes a day that you talk to someone that you would date. So 10 minutes a day, that's 70 minutes a week, versus somebody who does that 2 or 3 hours a day. You know, this other person will learn that skill literally 10, 20 times faster than you. So how do you spend more time with women? If it's not at your workplace, let's assume you don't have a lot of female energy at your workplace, you need to compensate that outside of your workplace, right? If you work in an office or you're surrounded by a lot of masculine energy, a lot of engineering type of job, a lot of finance or strategy thinking, or maybe you're a trader, or maybe you work from home now, as a lot of people do during this pandemic, you have to figure out a way that you don't go home and you're just like playing, I don't know, PlayStation or computer or read or, you know, be again alone. You need to find social activities that will put you in front of women. That might be joining a yoga class, you know, usually a lot of women. Joining a salsa class if you're brave. They always need guys. Every salsa class in the world, they always need more guys. You could pick up a hobby like photography, do a course there. It's usually a good mix, or drawing, or painting, whatever, right? Am I saying join a yoga class and then sleaze on all the chicks in the yoga class and the teacher? No, please don't do that, okay? It's literally for you to practice to communicate with females in a chill way that makes them attracted to you. Don't try to pick them up straight away. Don't be like, hey, what's up tonight? Do you want to get a drink? That's not what I mean. It's being in that energy, bathing in it, you know, enjoying it, learning from it, and then even being a little bit reserved so they can invest in you, right? If you over eager, that's usually a turn off. Okay, money. 2 things how you can have more money. Either you save more of the money you already make, or you make more money and obviously save parts of that. So firstly, saving, okay? I see a lot of people wasting money. I see a lot of people putting their hard-earned cash into things that have no value, that basically are gonna go to zero soon, and they don't use a lot, and they do it almost out of a habit, right? And they don't think when they spend money. Let's a simple example. Let's say you love sneakers, you know, and you buy a pair of sneakers every month, $200, and you do that for the whole year. So that's $2,400 for the year. Now, here's how I see a pair of sneakers for $200. I don't see it as one pair of sneakers. I see it as 10 pairs in 15 years. Because if I invest those $200 smartly, I can easily get currently 10, 15%. If we talk about crypto yield farming, 17 million percent. You know, this will, through compound interest, be more. And I know compound interest, that's boring, that's Warren Buffett stuff, but it's not. Every person who is wealthy for a long time does it this way. They think about compound interest. They think about investing. No person makes a lot of money all the time. Life usually works in a way where you have good phases where a lot of cash comes in, and there is recessions, you know, you lose your job, you have surgery, your car is broken, something where you need money and you just cannot save anything. And if you spend the time when you made a lot of money not saving money, then you will need it later. So one pair of sneakers for me now is 15 pairs of sneakers in the future. And better, spending $200 now on shoes means the Alex in 15 years, it's like he spent $2,000 on shoes. And do I want to spend $2,000 on shoes at my current income? No. I hope that makes sense. Now the other way is of course to make more money. And there's this famous kind of logic which I like. You can, the maximum amount you can save, if you're the perfect saver and you get everything for free and you live for free and you eat for free, then all you could save is 100% of your current income. So it's kind of capped, right? It's 100%. But you can make 2 times more money than now. You can make 5 times more money. You can make 10 times more money. So a way to get more money, the best way is of course be smart with what you make, but try to make more. How do we make more? Basically, in my experience, I'm not an expert yet, but I basically didn't think, I have one job and that's all the income I have. I guess that's the mindset of a lot of people. That would be the mindset of my parents, right? You have a job and that's your income and that's your range where you can save. But what if you have 3 incomes, 4 incomes, 6 different income sources, right? So I don't know how many sources of income I have currently because it's varying, but it's definitely more than 5. And then obviously it's easier to save bigger chunks of money. Then if you are at that level, you can risk a little bit. You can buy some crypto that some friend told you, right? Where okay, maybe I put $5,000 in this and maybe it's gone forever, but maybe it goes to 50,000. I don't like when people ask, hey, I got $200, what's the next 100x coin? I'm like, if you only have $200 to risk, otherwise you're in trouble, you shouldn't 100x anything. You should just work harder and make more money with real work, okay? So why does this all relate to sexual market value? Basically, because money is a thing, You want to be able to provide for women. You want to be able to go on a holiday. That's obviously attractive. Imagine you can tell a girl, hey, let's fucking go to Rome next weekend. I'll have the flight, we book a nice hotel, we spend 3 days together. Imagine you can buy her a dress here and there, I'm not saying you have to be a sugar daddy all the time, but I'm also don't like the people who are like, no, everything should be split 50-50, and if she can't do that, she's just sucking, she's just a gold digger. There is a middle ground, and the middle ground is be a boss who has money and who works hard and smart and is therefore able to give back to women, because what does she give you? Good energy, you relax with her, she challenges you in a good way, and maybe she doesn't make as much money because of some reasons. So you want to be able to spend not just for you, but for girls as well, which will get you hotter girls. So if you made it this far, you might as well check out my fire Instagram, give it a follow. This is an example of how I communicate high sexual market value into the online world. And let's be honest, a lot of the attention these days of females, especially young, hot females, is in the online world. It's on Instagram, right? So that's where I present myself as a high value male. Of course, I need to live up to it in the real world. I don't want to catfish anyone. Check out my Instagram. If you think that's cool, Alex, how do I do that? I actually made a whole 3-hour webinar where I go through each step from the very beginning to the very end of how to build an online persona, what to look out for, how to match it with your real personality. I don't want anybody to be a copy of me. And I made a webinar. It's available, the recording is available, plus the whole PDF guide accompanying it. And if you click the link below, you can check that out and give it a try. So I'm gonna get out of the cold. Thanks for joining this new channel, and I'll see you in the next one.